Me again from the wrong side here.
Jackie.
And I think we're live.
Yes,
Hello,
we
Pete.
are. Good morning. Good afternoon for you. Good morning for me. Good morning, everyone joining us today. I'm really excited for today's session. Jackie, you're going to be driving, so I'll whip out my notebook and I'll start taking notes here. I think last we left our agency website, you wanted to add that really cool panel that you had created, and you were going to walk us through that, and we were going to use this panel for our services section, right? So
yeah,
I'm hoping you can share your screen and walk us through the first version that you did create, and I believe it was something related to ice cream, which it's a little early for ice cream where I'm at in the world, but if there is such a thing as too early for ice cream, but I want us to go through, and I want to see the prototype that you're working with, and then we can create our very own version of that.
Great. I just want to look for it quickly here.
Yeah, take your time.
Just to make sure I've got the right one, because we've got so many,
Yeah.
And then I'll share my screen. There we go.
Cool.
So obviously this one was a very quick one that I've put together that one day while you were busy, and I was thinking about something similar. So we just need to obviously make it look like something. So this was the kind of thing where you can have your different services on the side, and when people click it, they will go between the services with an image on the top. And then when they hover, they can get the information, and then a booking or a whatever you are interested to have.
I love that. I have a couple questions. The shape of that button where it says sorbet, Swiss cream, chocolate.
Yeah.
Can that change? Can I use like an image instead, or can it stay as a button?
That is a button, but you can try and make use. I think icons. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Cool. We can do that.
So I'm excited for us to implement our very own version of it. We have our own colors. Last time I think we had a phenomenal session with everyone in the chat agreeing. Our agency took a turn. The website was basically black and white, and we added this color, the pop of orange, and we added it in the text. We made some image edits to the background. I think it looks phenomenal, so much better. And
I remember you didn't like this effort, that section there, but I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, I think so too. Actually, I think so. I think it grew on me a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what we wanted to do for the panel that you just showed us is create a new area, maybe a different color, and then implement that. So I'm excited to see how it pans out for us. But I will say this website is looking phenomenal.
I agree. I don't think it is as bad as what it was right in the beginning when. And I mean, that's the exciting part, right? Is when we start building these things, we don't even know what we are building. We know it's what the site's about, but we don't know how all of these different elements is going to come together.
Right.
And that's what I love about it. It's you can spend so much time creating and developing a website. And it makes it so much easier. You do not get frustrated like you would do with platforms like WordPress, where you're so limited.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to build in blocks and columns and things like that.
Yeah.
Here you really have the freedom to design to your heart's content, and even overlapping. I mean, where in the world can you overlap an element into another panel
Right.
just like this and just lay it over the other one?
Right.
Because I think that's something a lot of people ask. How do you get it like this so that
Right.
it goes across the 2 pages? And it's all about layering.
Right. And on a WordPress website, for example, what you're doing is you're implementing a design. Whereas on Builderall, you can design right into the platform. So on WordPress, you have to go into the platform with a pre-existing design, with knowing exactly what you're creating, because it doesn't have the flexibility of being able to move elements around as easily as you can here. It changes the whole approach, I think, for me, because now you're approaching the website like a design project, which in a lot of ways, that's what it is. You're creating something that's purely visual. And so why not have a platform that supports your creativity in a visual manner? So,
Exactly.
I
I mean, we know that I'm no designer, and I'm not gonna try and be one. I'm not a graphic designer. I like pretty things and making pretty stuff, but I know that we've got amazing people inside of the Builderall platforms that do create unbelievable websites, things that you would not even believe was built inside of the platform.
Sure.
And so I think we should in the future invite maybe them to a session, one of our sessions.
Yeah, I'm sure they'd love that.
I think that would be so cool if they could build a panel with us.
Yeah. I always make this joke, whenever when I take the lead and start to edit or update a design, I tell them, like, cover your eyes, don't look now. But they're awesome. I'm sure they'd love to be part of the project.
That would be so nice.
Yeah.
So for our services, how many are we going to add?
Let's do 5 services. Let's do
client services. Client services. And how many will we be featuring? How many different types?
I said 5. Maybe
5.
Maybe my mic cut off.
Okay.
5. Yeah, I think 5 would be good. We can make, we can look at what we can offer from the Builderall platform: website design, email marketing, lead generation, social media management, and then maybe some SEO services too. All of those because you can do all of that in the Builderall platform. That'll be, I think for an agency, if you need an operating system to kind of bring everything together, Builderall is exactly where it's at. So
yeah, definitely. So I'm just adding, for those who do not know, I've just added a rotation banner. A rotation banner is probably one of the elements that I can say can do so many different kinds of things, because you can link it to so many different other stuff that happens inside of the platform. And you guys will see today why I think this is such a cool thing. You can even make use of this type of thing if you want to have a video playing different videos and it scrolls at the top of your panel. So that is just, if you were wondering how people sometimes get to see videos at the top of a panel and these videos change, it's rotation banners. That's basically what it is. We've used the rotation banner also right here at the top. You can see we've got the group here. It's just that the background is transparent. That's why you don't see it that way. And that's why you can see these different kinds of things happening inside of the rotation banner. So there's multiple uses for it. You can use it in testimonials. You can use it in the same way that we are trying to do it today, just to showcase you maybe a little bit different types of things that you can do with the platform. That's why we're doing it this way today. So when I add something like this, I tend to always go and delete the other panels inside here. And the reason for that is because I want to make them all the same size, the same content, the same everything. So I basically start off with just just the one slide. And you can see we've got the slider at the top. And we need to make a decision as to what we're going to have inside of this. Is there going to be buttons? Is there going to be text? Are we going to have images? Is it going to be, what is the purpose that we want with this specific area? So what we've done here, what I've done in this area, because this is a rotation banner as well, is I have added a box. So inside of the rotation banner is a box. So if I have to remove all of these, we can always add our text just later, because we want to have the same text that we've been using across our pages. So I'm not going to worry about that image for now. I'm just going to keep it there so that we can get our box in there. So we're going to go take a look at the elements and find the box hover, because that is what we're working with. And we're just going to choose, I'm just going to grab the second one for now. And box hover, we've also used here. So these images, you can see, is hover images as well. All right, so that's the same principle. And now we're going to do exactly the same with this box right here. I'm just going to stretch it a little bit. And we're probably going to have to make a decision. Let me just remove this text. And we're going to bring this in. Mm-hmm. And the reason for that is because we're going to want to have some buttons that we can play around with here on the side. It doesn't necessarily have to be over the image like I've got here.
Okay.
It could be totally separated on the side. And it doesn't have to be these colors. So maybe we should have these right here at the top instead of on the side.
Sure.
We could play around with it. I just think about the more, maybe a little bit more, what's the word I'm looking for? More professional kind of thing. Maybe we could have it slightly bigger. We could have content with a button here, and we can have the box that when they hover, there's additional information, maybe something like that. We just need to decide how we want to do that.
I'm thinking already, this is sparking a lot of thoughts. I think this could also, I know that for our implementation, we're going to use it for services, but it could also be a great panel to showcase case studies. Maybe in this panel, you have different industries, right? With all the buttons, electrical, HVAC, whatever it is, whatever industry we're trying to show the case study for. And then in the rotation banner, maybe you have a picture of the business that you helped, and on the side where you have the blank space here, maybe like an excerpt from their testimonial.
Yeah.
And when you hover over that panel, you have a button that says read the full case study or something of that.
Yes.
So like the testimonial gets you interested, like, oh, they must have done a great job. And then you click and you read the full case study and you learn more about, what we did for this company in that specific industry. It
just shows you there's so many possibilities and ideas that one can use in examples such as this.
Very cool.
So for this example, are we just going to have an image with a hover box and have tabs at the top? And maybe just enlarge it slightly, because at this stage that is kind of small. And then we need to figure out images. What images are we going to have in this area?
Okay. Is your dog okay? You can check on your dog. I hear him in the back. I hear him in the back. He's
is okay. That's the interesting part of being online. You can't help it. You never know.
Yeah.
All right, so we've got this image right here. We first have to find an image before we play around with it inside of Canva. So I don't know what type of image we are going to look at or look for. So I'm just going to go with a Facebook post. I always like to use a Facebook post template. I don't know why. It just gives it a little bit more broader kind of thing. It's just what I always do. So what type of, we say we're going to put in there client services. So it would be like, what type of services are we going to offer?
Web design.
Email marketing.
Email
design.
marketing. Yeah, website design, email marketing.
Let's see what design for an image. Oh, there's thousands now we can choose from again.
Yeah, I like when we can see mobile and desktop. So I don't know if we can find that type of example, or multiple screens, or something more enticing. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
It's better. It's better, but it's not. It's very much the same type of.
Yeah. Maybe it's too corporate, this one. It's too clean. Okay. I don't hate it. I also like what we did with the previous mock-up, which is we placed a screenshot of the website, of our website, on this panel, and I have that image, I think, so I can send that to you.
Yes, and I think we can. Yes, you're going to have to send me the image because I don't have that one. We just have this major image, just like that, but not that image on its own.
Right.
So if you've got it, I can pick it up from you.
Yes, I'm going to send it to your WhatsApp.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking we probably need to also grab a screenshot of what the website looks like on mobile, right? Because we haven't really looked at that yet. Would you be able to share that link with me, please?
I'm going to, what I think I can do here is let me do this. And I'm just going to go like that.
Beautiful.
And I will just use a screenshot thingamajig. Okay, hold on a second. That doesn't want to work that way. Where is it now? Let me just do this again. No, not that. And then print screen. Are we just going to take the one piece at the top with the whole thing?
Just no, not the whole thing. Exactly like you have it on the screen. Yeah, the top is fine.
All right. So then we can do that. And then I can take, let me just go and get that screenshot here. And then for this one, all right, then we can go back to here. So are we going to put them both in the one area? Or are we going to put it as a mock-up inside of?
A mock-up inside of Canva. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly there. And
our website. So let's go see what mock-ups we've got.
Yeah.
Mock-up. Where are you?
You just searched it last time.
I'm not in there. Design, projects, apps. Mock up. Mock up, mock up, mock up. Now to find it again.
Yeah. You can search, I think. Yeah, you can search.
Yo, there's 100 different ones. I never
Yeah.
knew there were so many.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go and see all. See if there's one with different images in one.
Yeah. Well, you have the
There's
smartphone
one.
selected.
There's one. But what if we could have one with a smartphone and a TV together?
Yeah. Could you search that? Because I think if you go back, you'll be able to find more. Yeah.
There's computers. It's only computers. Seems like they don't have a mixture of both.
Mm. Yeah. We can just settle for just the computer. Or we can do one where it's well, we can use a desktop for the web design, and then maybe another service can have a different size.
Okay. Okay. Which one now to choose? That's now the other thing. Would a laptop be too corporate-y?
No, I think this one's fine. Yeah, I think this one's fine. I think with a lot of these pictures, it's as long as it doesn't look too clean, I think we'll be good.
Now everybody's going to see my stuffy on the side. What am I working on? Looks like I'm doing softwares or something.
Yeah.
So download, and I'm going to compress this. Let me just make a JPG, and I'm making the file smaller. Whoops. All right, then we can go back. That's the live site, I think. And we can right click. And we have to make sure that we are the right place, because you'll see that you've got box hover and you've background. And if you scroll further down, you've got the other one. So for this one, upload. We can use the AI builder. We actually forgot about that.
That's true.
And then save. I don't think I've loaded. There we go, y'all. Right, so the image is not too big.
Yeah, but for this feature, is there a way where we can make sure to not stretch?
Yeah, it's the one like you did last time. Last time, remember, you did something with this image here to say that it must not stretch. You did something here. Can you remember?
You scroll down and change the size. Yeah, exactly here. One of these. I think the bottom. You see that bottom? Yes, this option stretches. And if you,
I see it. Yeah, it doesn't stretch it actually. It just makes it bigger.
This isn't. But there's one of these options that like stretches the picture to fit the whole area. Yeah, so that one is not what we want.
Definitely not that one.
No, I think this one is fine. I think we need to change the internal...
The image size if we want it.
Well, the box size. So if you select on it, Go to hover. Go to the hover picture. I think changing this allows you to change the other. I think they're linked together so that the sizes aren't different. Can you change the size of this box?
Of the hover?
Yeah. You see, yeah. On this gray panel, if you can change that dimension. Yeah. You see how it's like exceeding? There's actually two boxes over each other in this element, and I think it's interesting.
I don't see what you see, hey? What do you mean there's two panels over each other?
I'm gonna try to use my words in an effective way, because I don't think I've been doing that. So go to the hover. Okay, change the size. Okay, can you make this box bigger?
Bigger.
Okay, you see how you have that blue line? No, make it bigger than the gray. But you also have this gray box.
Yeah.
There is a way to change that dimension, and that allows you to change the image. Now, can you go back to the first page, the first screen? Yeah. And now what happens when you change the picture? It's the same.
Change
right?
the picture.
It's the same. I saw something last time. Let me test it before I continue to put my foot in my mouth. But I believe that's something that we can do. But for right now, we can just make it smaller. And let me test out and see what we can do to change that.
Okay, let me just put it back the way it was. Now it's just stretching it way too much. Okay, I'll just keep it. I want it to keep for now. That's not going to do anything to it. All right. So what are we going to put inside of the box?
So inside the box, we would have it say, website design, web design services, something of that nature. Yeah, I think website design services, or explore our portfolio, see our previous work. That could be something that's useful. I'm thinking, what's someone going to be looking for? If they are looking for web design services, they probably want to see your previous work. They want to know that that you create good websites. They want to know that you have a process. So, we can use this as an opportunity to send them to a different page, because we don't want to just cram all the information in here.
So it's like a button kind of thing. So I'm not going to worry about the wording right now.
That's
we
fine.
Just want to put the outline of it.
Can you throw in that orange button in here?
Yes.
Inside of this hover? Yeah.
Yeah, I was looking for the button just now. And what we're doing right here, you guys don't have to do. I mean, if you want to, you can even save it as a personal element and draw it from the top. I just find this so much easier to do it this way than go and find it in that area. So one thing for everyone that are watching is just to let you know, there is one thing when it comes to rotation banners and when you're moving things around. If I'm going to place it here and I change this banner, this button is just going to disappear from the screen. Always put it on the outside, away from it, so that while you're working with it and you move between the things, it's easy then to get hold of it. Because if it's inside of that area where that button is, it seems like sometimes as if it disappears. So rather have it in another panel at the bottom where you're working. So I always do that. I always have a blank panel at the bottom, and I do my stuff here at the bottom, and then I'm adding it to the top. So we're just going to drop it in right here now, and there is our button. So we've got our framework at least. We don't have the color schemes and all of that yet. What we do have now is what does it look like when you are going to hover over it. So that's basically what it is. All right. Now, the background of this, we need to get rid of, obviously. So I'm just going to move this up slightly. I wonder if we are not supposed to put something here, like an image. I mean, I know we're going to have an image. Sorry. I know we're going to have an image that is going to be here.
Yeah.
But should we say something here to get the people to know that this is what web design? I don't know.
I'm okay without it right now. And actually, I think let's explore what it looks like. I think what we've done so far has really worked for us, and we've sort of let the website become what it wants to become. And so
let's do that.
We'll create a few more patterns, and we'll see panels. I mean, and then we can figure out what our next step is going to be.
All right. So let me just remove the background from this box. Of course, it's not part of our color scheme here. And we're removing borders. And this is the rotation banner groups information. That's the thing. If you guys sometimes struggle to understand what are you working on, you can just take a look at the top there, and you'll see that you've got rotation banner, but this is probably the slider page that has got that bluish background to it, and you can just go through it to see which one it is. If it is that one. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it is. So we're going to go by solid color, and we're just going to make this transparent so we can get away from it. And there is still a border around here, unless it's the image that has got the border. Background color.
Yeah,
border.
there's a border. Yeah.
There we go.
Nice.
So there we've got that. So there's our first image. Then we can go with a second image. So we're basically just going to duplicate that one. And then we can add the next one. And I'm going to duplicate the next one so that we at least have 3 services. And I'm going to leave this alone for a second. And we're going to take a look at these menu bars that is going to link to this different services. And I'm just going to go to the top, and I'm just going to delete the ones that's there. And then the first one, you said we should maybe consider doing icons. What do you think? Or would we rather say web design? Let's test it. I mean, let's do the web design, and we can always change it. What is the other services that we said?
We said email marketing, web design. We said we can do SMS marketing, SMS and WhatsApp. We can do landing lead generation, because you can create all of that system with Builderall.
Okay, so let's just do those for now. So there we've got that. So I would have liked if it was sitting right here at the top of it.
Okay.
Instead of there, but this seems so long, you know. But let's see what it's going to look like when it's linked, I suppose. Let's just take these color schemes away from the menu. So general settings, background is already 0. We've got left. Burger menu icons. We don't worry about that at the moment. Just want to make that bold. I don't know what was our font for this, but we can change it just now. Background, nothing. Hover, we can change the hover if you want to, but let's just get the in place. Okay. So we know if we hover, what is the main color scheme? We've got this goldish color right here. So I'm just going to grab the color quickly. And we'll change. Oh yeah, I've got the color there. I forgot that we've got the text color like that. So that's going to work for us. And then the fonts, if we go back, let's just see what fonts we used. Assistant bold, assistant. So it seems like we used assistant right across it. So let's just go and grab assistant. Oops, assistant. Right, we can increase it slightly, the font style here. So we've got our font. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just going to duplicate that one as well so that we've got 3, so that I can explain to you how we link these things. That's the easy part, actually. So we know that this is a rotation banner 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. We just need to remember now what we are putting where. So 0 is going to be web design, 1 is going to be email marketing, 2 is SMS marketing, and the last one, 3, is lead generation. Okay. So we're going to start with web design. We're going to go back to the menu, and we're going to click on this little arrow thingy. Going to go to rotation banner. I'm going to click on refresh banner list. And we're going to see we got rotation banner 0, rotation banner 1. That was the one at the top, so we don't want that one. So we're going to go with that. We're going to click save. I'm going to go to the next one. Actually, that is not it. Hold on a second. I'm going to just click save. Hold on. There's more than one rotation banner. We've got 3 actually on this page.
Okay. Good thinking. Yeah.
Save it. All right. So let's just go back. I wonder, you can name this thing.
Yeah.
But let me just go and do that. Web design, link, rotation banner, and refresh it. So there should be a 3rd one. Okay, not. Okay,
I don't think we can see that pop up once you open it.
It should show me 2 of them, because it only showed 2 rotation banners, and we know we've got 3. Or do we only have? We've got this one. Oh no, man! It is only 2.
It is.
Oh my goodness!
Ha.
Whew. Rotation banner. I don't know why I was so confused. Email marketing, rotation, number 2, rotation, number 3, 1, 2, 3. How many did I link now? 2, and then the last one. Rotation banner is the last one. So that's 4. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I think what makes me confused, we kind of think of that this web design is going to be number 1, but it actually is number 0. So that's what. So now it's linked. Basically, now we need to make sure that we change these images before we progress. So the next one is going to be email marketing. I don't know if what we've got for email marketing. Design, photos. Let's just do marketing. Any specific ideas that you want to use?
The best one is envelopes. That's like a really, really easy one, a really obvious one, I guess. How about that one with you see the elements coming off the screen somewhere in the middle? Okay, go 2 rows down above that one, right above that one.
That one?
Yeah.
Good. And then the next one, let me just move that one. So there's too many pages open. So now we are on one. We right click. And we're going to replace that image now with our new image. Upload. Remember to always give the right names, guys. Don't do what I'm doing here. Undesign 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, because that is not good. That's not good practice. But for the sake of this, I think if we have to make sure that all SEO elements and everything is perfect now, then we're not going to get through this. Then we've got SMS marketing. So now it's a different one. SMS could probably just be from your phone kind of thing. Let's see what they give us for SMS. What do you think about that one?
Solid. I like it.
Okay. Goodness me, but this is fast now. What? This is seriously fast. All right. The last one is lead generation. And that could be like a funnel. Hopefully it gives us a funnel kind of thing.
Okay. Close. I prefer the magnet, I think. You see where it has...
This one.
Yeah.
Because of the color scheme. I have to say the design in Builderall platform is addictive.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I sometimes when I say to myself, like they do with this alcohol anonymous kind of thing, it says, "Hi, I'm Jackie. I'm addicted to Builderall platform."
Yeah, the Builderall anonymous.
The addiction is real.
That's really funny.
So now we've got our images. So before we do anything else, let's just save this and see what happens when we click on these buttons so that we can get an idea. Not now. I just want to quickly do one thing. And that's to make sure that it is on not autoplay or arrow. Mustn't be any of them, because we want to control how it's going to go.
Right.
So I did fix that. I think I did. Yes. All right. So that is being saved. And there was something last week that we did. And before we're going to do this, I know it's 15:15, but, I cannot leave this the way it was. When we had this managing director that last week.
Yes.
I'm just going to show you what I so much wanted to do.
Yeah, let's try it out. I'm not in love with that either. I think it's definitely
what I wanted to do was to twist it sideways.
Okay. I like that.
Like have it like something like this.
I like that.
It was better than having them like that.
Sure. Yeah, no, I totally agree.
It's not the best. I'm sure guys that does this for a living is going to say to you, there's better ways.
Yeah, it's good enough.
So now this is what I mean, guys. That you see, when I was clicking on here, you can see how it disappears. That's why I prefer to have it in a complete different panel and not
Would
what
that
I've
show
just
up?
done now.
Would
I've
that show
just,
up on the website?
yes, it will.
So we can actually use that to our advantage at some point.
Yes, you can.
So by clicking hover, you can have many other elements appear on the screen.
Exactly. If that element was in that area. I actually have never thought about that. That is genius.
Yeah, maybe we can introduce that in this bottom section, where like when
Yeah,
you hit web design, maybe you have many more elements that show up on the screen.
that could be an idea.
Maybe we can have them, and I'm just riffing here. I know, we're not gonna maybe we're not gonna implement all of these things, but I think it would be cool if like you hit web design, and then from that picture that we have many elements that come out from the screen in the hover panel.
Yes, I know what you say, but what elements are we going to make to come out of there? That's the question. Something else around it.
Well, let's see. Yeah. So
Like
let's
type
see.
of icons, like light type of icons, like
I'm thinking.
faded.
Well, I'm thinking because this is focused on the trades, maybe we can do things like nuts, bolts, some tools, screws. You know what I mean?
Let's see if we can do one.
Gears. Yeah. Yeah, and maybe can you so let's do this, and then let's do a different version of it with that same orange that we were using in our website, and we can have a variation of that image.
Okay. Different colors.
Yeah, and if you can separate them so that we have just like the nut, or the bolt Interesting. I'm thinking now, could we use like GIFs of like gears turning? Is that?
I don't know. That's something that we should try. Now I'm getting excited here, because what if? Let's just videos. What if there's GIFs in?
Yeah, I think.
Then we're gonna have to use the one that's integrated in Builderall. We can try that one.
Yeah, so, and it's an idea. We can let's try out just having the hover element change things on the screen, and then we can go from there. I don't want to like go all in.
Why not? This is how we are going to get this thing to.
I agree.
I'm gonna have to leave something black here.
Yeah. Can you? Well. No, maybe we can go back all the way. And then just change the middle, so that the middle, that's the second from the darkest. Change that into orange. What does that look like? Does that look terrible? Yeah, it's gonna look terrible. Never mind. Let's just keep it gray.
All right, let's just do this 2 for now. Page 5. Let me just remove these so that I can make it easier for myself. All right, let's see what happens. Let's just go upload these images first. Whoops. Image. And we're changing this one as well. Oops. Do that one. All right, now okay, that one.
So we wanted to have them appear on the hover.
Yeah. Just a second. Let me just see quickly. Let me just move that down. Box hover. I need to try and fool it a little bit too quickly. So on the hover.
Interesting.
Okay.
Does it need to like touch the box?
Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah.
I just want to. Let me just make this box smaller because, I mean, otherwise it's going to be too far.
Sure.
There we go. You can see, look there.
Yeah.
It's already attached.
Connected. Yeah. Interesting. I wonder why it worked in the previous panel.
It has to. I still believe it can.
Yeah.
There it's gone. But that's because of that. But we want it to be in the hover.
Yeah.
It only needs to appear when you hover. I wonder. No, we can't do that because then we stretch the image.
This is definitely interesting. How it's doing. Can you take both elements off of the screen and put them in a different panel? Let's try that. And now go to the hover. And now introduce those elements on the panel.
You see, what I'm thinking is this box here.
Yeah.
It there.
Yeah, it needs to like be. I understand. Oh, the perfect. Yes. And so it worked.
Yeah.
So starting from starting from that hover screen, once you introduce something on the panel, then it would have this function. That's very cool. That's very interesting. And now, does it need to touch? Can you try it? Can you like separate it and have it not touch the hover box at all? And see if
I don't
it
know.
Okay, so
It has to touch the hover box.
it has to touch the hover box, which is.
But there is a big but. What if you change this image? If you've got a large image and the image is sitting on the side and there is a white piece, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then it will form part of it, because then this is on the side of the white piece and that is on that side, and you add that image in, and then it's going to work like that. Then you will have the same effect.
Very cool. Okay. Very cool. Very cool. Okay, we played around with this. Okay.
Okay, where is it now? There it is.
Yeah, let's yeah.
All right, so for now, I mean, to finalize this thing is what we need to decide where we're going to place this. Are we going to have it vertical, or are we going to have it like here? And we'll have it lined up to the right, not the brand image. Where is my lining up?
Right there. Yeah.
Like that, so that we have it lined up next to it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't mind that. I think that's nice.
So if you save, and we're going to republish this now. I've got actually another idea here as well, but I think we can do. Let me just quickly do that, what I was thinking. Let me just pull this, go to the side here. This is something I always wanted to do. I don't know why I now only suddenly have that idea. So I'm just going to grab two of these lines. Did I grab the other one? No, I didn't. Oh, I did. So let me just put that on the side. Put that in the middle. Put that on the side here. And bring this box up to there. I just want to remove this lines of this menu. Background, transparent, border, 0. There we go. So we can have it like maybe there. I mean, we can play around with this. I was just now thinking.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think that gives like a visual line.
I think we can play around with it, obviously. Yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be like that. Let's just see what it looks like in real time.
I think that's a really cool function. Isn't that really cool? I think that's really cool.
I love it.
Yeah, I think that's really cool.
The only thing I think needs to be changing here is when it slides, yeah, I don't like it that it goes underneath the words. There needs to be a color or something, or a line here, like it's going inside of a box. Like for an example, what I have here,
like a vertical line.
Like, yeah, exactly the size of this thing. That it looks like it's going inside of that box.
I like that. You can have the space match, like have the space be the same distance on either side. That's too far.
Is that fine?
That's too far.
Oh, too far.
Yeah, something like this. Yeah. Close.
But this must go. I don't like that either now. What if it's something the same on this side? No. Now becoming too technical.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just see. I would like to have this a lot bigger, using bigger images and bolder. This is minute. It's just way too small.
Okay. I love that. Oh, see that line sort of?
Yeah, it's because the line is part of the
first
thing. The line needs to be separated from the box. It's in the box.
You know, I think for next time we can revisit or come back to this entire panel and see how we feel about the whole thing, and sort of let sleep on it for a day, and then come back with some fresh ideas for next week. But I think we're actually close to wrapping up this series.
Yeah,
and we'll do another website. Maybe not next time. Maybe the time after that.
So that's better.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
that's so much
awesome.
better.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cool stuff.
So I think next week we must just enlarge this slightly.
Yeah.
Or I will enlarge it before we do our thing.
Yeah, and then we figure out how to sort of wrap up the page, and we move on. But this is really cool. I love this feature. This is great.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
All right.
Cool stuff.
All right. Thank you guys for watching us. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you next time. And, guys, be nice. I say pay it forward to other Builderall users to let them get to see these sessions, because this is where they're going to learn. No tutorial out there is going to learn or teach you how to play around and mix elements. The platform is just too robust to cover each and every single small piece inside the platform on how you can combine things. So please start sharing it. If you're watching this, the replay later on, just hit like and subscribe. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, guys.
Excellent. We'll see you later. Thank you all.
Bye.